The first funds for the GSBA scholarship came from an individual, and he wrote a check for $20,000 or $25,000. When we heard that, the tears flowed because we thought, oh my God, this just might work.
GSBA always had this mission when we first started, and this is 10 years before scholarship actually came to be, to do a scholarship fund.
I had always assumed that the original women behind the scholarship fund were so entrenched in education that it was just a natural step in their lives to give back to the community.
We didn't really think we were doing anything that important, but in retrospect, it was groundbreaking. It was the very first in the country.
We said, these applications are going to go to every school in the state. We wanted to use the application both to reach the students who needed the support, but also to reach the institutions that might not even know those students were there.
We were very concerned about where we held the scholarship interviews, who knew about it, and to protect their identity until we had a conversation with them to find out whether it was safe. They might not have been out to their family or friends, and we certainly didn't want to compromise anybody's safety.
Our early applicants, more often than not, were either literally on their own or emotionally on their own.
It wasn't that long before we awarded the first 2 scholarships, and then clearly we could see the impact.
I'm Morgan Scherer, and I was a GSBA scholar in 1992. So I came out when I was 16. There weren't a whole heck of a lot of young people at that time who were out. I was one of one in my high school who was out, and then 5 or 6 or 10 who were out to each other.
I believe it was 3 or 4 years, at least, before we had any parents come to our presentation of the scholarships.
I was president of GSBA in 94-95. Part of what was evolving at the time was we created a process to brainstorm how much money do we need to actually vest the scholarship fund so it could be standing on its own legs. And we came up with the amount of $200,000.
Within a few years, we had both raised $200,000 and then we got a bequest for $200,000. So we were already beyond our goal. Beyond that, we didn't set another goal.
If we want to create the next generation of leaders, as we continue to say in our mission statement, the next generation of leaders needs education. If our own community, the LGBT community, doesn't support its own students, who will do it?
I first got involved with the GSBA Scholarship Fund in the late 1990s. So it forced me really to have the guts to go to my corporation and start demanding certain rights. Somehow I had the brave idea that I could call the legal counsel who's a board of director, and she took my call. And she was great, and I asked her, like, how do we get money to support local LGBT community? It was such a new idea that she was like, that's a great question. 2 years later, she had formed the LGBT Employee Resource Group, and that was our first ability to start to fund local LGBT community. We're people of many diverse backgrounds, and yet the LGBT in us connect us all as one.
Republicans and Democrats and Green Party and lesbians and gay men and straight allies and students have found a meeting place where we can really be authentic and positive with each other.
What touched me about the scholarship program was the way the community was embracing the youth and striving to make a difference in their lives.
I think that's one of the powers of this scholarship fund and the scholarship dinner is that ability for young people to witness and be witnessed by others in their community who are saying, we are on your side.
When people in class would tell me that, oh, I'm getting a free ride, or I'm there because of the color of my skin, I could gladly turn around and say, no, it's because I'm queer.
With any scholarship, the financial impact on a student is tremendous, but really the emotional investment that you get along with the GSBA scholarship and having this community of business leaders and advocates. It's like a family who's saying, hey, we support you, we're investing in you, we believe in you. And you feel that, and that is what's so moving to me about being a GSBA scholar.
The role GSBA fulfills is providing resources to LGBT and allied students who are going to help build a better, more just and equal society.
I went to the University of Washington for undergrad. I studied political science. I was pretty heavily involved in student government there. I was the first openly gay student body president. I wonder if I would have done it if I hadn't had, the early messages that I was important and that leadership mattered and that I should think about being a leader.
If these students are accomplishing everything they are at that age, I have so much further to go. So they inspire me every day, every year.
I think I get more excited in hearing the next round of scholars and then wondering how on earth did I get lumped with the folks that are doing these amazing things. But that's what history does for us. If some of us hadn't stepped up to apply for those early scholarships, we wouldn't see the evolution that we have now and the standard becoming higher and higher and higher for involvement in our own community.
I donate every year. I encourage all my friends. I encourage my clients.
My husband and I now, we've grown and gotten older together and been able to save up more money. This feels like a good way to invest back in the community and to give back that we weren't able to when we were younger.
If I were in a room full of donors who donated that year, I would probably cry. And I'm kind of surprised I'm crying now because it's been a long time.
I'd be very curious to know if they understand just the depth of the impact that they make.
It's so important for people to understand the affirmation and the shedding of shame.
They should see their reality and their beings reflected in other people's success. And I hope that they feel like part of an intergenerational transmission of knowledge and love.
Having received that scholarship years ago, I carry that with me, and it's kind of this constant presence of support and community that you just want it to continue on.
It had such a profound impact to be personally supported at that time by professionals, by queer professionals who were out, who were providing modeling for me, who provided hope, who provided a path forward into successful identity. I would thank them very much.
The original founders, their idea and their foresight that the rest of us have had the honor to participate in and promote and grow is one of the most amazing things that's happened in my lifetime.
It is very, very satisfying to see our scholars lead organizations, to see their commitment return to the process of fostering the next generation.
25 years later, some of the student scholars are sitting on the board of GSBA.
The amounts just kept growing. The amounts of money, the amounts of scholars, the amounts of people who wanted to be a part of the scholarship fund.
That's probably been the most amazing part of it for me, to see it broaden out to the whole community.
We thought, oh my God, if we get to 50,000 or 100,000, it'll be amazing. And here we are at over 2 million.
Just about to hit 2 million.
2 million, and it's phenomenal.
What would I hope for the next 25 years? This 25 years having been such a tremendous journey. So what's the next journey going to look like?
For me, it won't be in numbers, either numbers of students or dollars, so much as it will be in impact that we've had on lives of students who are leaders in many ways, and doing that with a sense of confidence and wholeness.
I really think the Scholarship Fund is our crowning achievement.
This is just the beginning.
To the next 25.